In this video, I'm going to talk about how to organize your money and how to set up your bank accounts. And this stuff changed my life. So that's why I want to share it with you. And so I'm going to talk about different bank accounts and ways to organize it. And I'm going to give you resources as well of things that are just super valuable to me. So anyways, before we get started, check out Jobber Professional Development Day, March 24th at 10 a.m. And Gary Vaynerchuk's going to be there. And I'm going to be there on a live panel. It's totally free to register. Click the link in the description below this video and you can register for Jobber Professional Development Day. All right, everything I'm going to breeze over really fast so I don't make this a 3-hour-long video. But all the money that you make in your small business, the cash that flows in, the gross revenue, right, should all be going into a BC, a business checking account, right? And if it's not, it's probably flowing through a personal checking account, right? And there's a difference because if you're doing everything in a personal checking account, you are classified as a sole proprietor, an SP. You're out working by yourself, you're chucking a truck, it's fine. And as long as at the end of the year you get all your taxes figured out and you give the IRS the amount of percentage money that you owe them, they're probably just going to leave you alone. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not licensed to give any financial advice, I'm not even advising you anything. I'm just sharing entertaining information based off some cool stuff that I've learned, right? But as long as you pay them, they leave you alone for the most part, right? But what happens is you don't have any protection. You don't have... If you're a U.S. citizen, if you're a U.S. person and you're on the public side, that side of the jurisdiction, which means you operate in commerce, then you probably are going to want to set up some layers of protection and go out and get articles of incorporation and an EIN number, which is basically EIN, employer identification number, through the form of an LLC. And you can learn about that in Robert Kiyosaki's advisory book called Own Your Own Corporation. You can get it on audible.com. And you should listen to it twice, right? But, so once you get a couple bucks rolling, go find a CPA or ask around, get an accountant, and go launch your business legitimately and get it all registered, register it with the state, and then go to your bank and say, hey, I want to set up a small business checking account, right? So now you can have an actual business checking account. But you still got this personal checking account. So at first you might be running the money through the business checking account, you're paying your bills, you're paying your taxes, and then how are you going to pay yourself? Well, you might give yourself distributions. Let's say every single week you transfer 800 bucks, I don't know, and you just transfer the money into your personal checking and it shows up at the end of the year. What's that times 5? 8 times 5, 40, so you paid yourself 40 grand. Well, what happens is now you owe You have a liability, a tax obligation called personal income taxes, PIT. All right. Now that tax rate might be higher depending on how much you paid yourself, where you're classified, what state you're in. I don't know what your liabilities are. I just don't know. But what happens is when you're a single member LLC, whatever income is left over after write-offs, it passes through to you personally, and then you owe taxes on that, okay? But the next step of this, it might be, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, is you could, file as an S Corp and then become a shareholder of your business. And if you're just a small fry guy running around, cutting grass, landscaping, trimming bushes, putting mulch in, you might be 100% shareholder or be the president of your corporation, okay? So you're the president and a shareholder, but now you can also become an employee of your business. And if you want to learn about that, look up Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, part of it, ESBI. And basically on the left side of the quadrant, you're employee or you're self-employed. So you're basically both in one. You become an employee of your business, and that's where you open up this bank account, a payroll account, PA. Now there are a whole bunch of different configurations of everything that I said, and I'm not trying to have some battle of who's right or wrong or good or bad or any of that stuff. I do invite positive comments below so we can all read the comments and learn from it, right? But if you have a payroll account, well, there's another very important account you need as well, which you sit down with your bank and this is a business savings account, a BS, right? So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts. You have your main business checking account that all the cash flows through. All of it goes in there. Then you transfer money into the payroll account, and you get on payroll. So there's like ADP, there's paychecks. I might be able to put a link in the description below this video. Because I use ADP, it's an account, because I used to try to run payroll myself and all that stuff, it was a nightmare. You were better off just going out and selling more work and making money than trying to manage payroll all by yourself. So you can hire a company and they do all the quarterly taxes and all the paperwork for you. They're just awesome. My account representative is taking on new clients, and she walked me through the whole process a long time ago and taught me all about it and answered all my questions and made it a breeze. If you want to learn, I might be able to put a link in the description below. I'll just put like sign up for ADP, and then you can get on a list. They'll contact you, but only if you're serious. Okay, so you get on payroll. And then now bi-weekly, I'm just talking about if you're just small fry and it's just you. I'm not talking about hiring employees or any of that stuff right now, because I don't want to make this like a 5-hour video on YouTube. But you know, every single week or bi-weekly or however you want to do it, I do bi-weekly because it actually saves me a little bit of money, is you have money that you actually run and process payroll. So now state and FICA and Medicare and Social Security, the unemployment insurance agency, work comp is getting paid, general liability insurance, all this stuff is getting paid. That's why this video could get complex real quick, because depending on where you have your insurances set up, they make it really convenient for you to make it a one-stop shop, so you can have your insurances under this payroll umbrella as well, and they just take it out with payroll every week. I used to get really frustrated before I had work comp, and I used to ask, like, how do you get on work comp? How much does it cost? Because I was afraid of how much is this going to cost, right? And then I would get stupid answers like, oh, I don't know, it just comes out with payroll every week. I have no idea. I'm like, what do you mean it comes out with payroll every week? What are you talking about? But once you go through the process and you realize that once you do all this stuff, it raises your self-esteem, and it raises the bar and your standards, and it also allows you to get your foot in the door to take on jobs and projects that you normally couldn't get on before you had insurance and stuff like that, right? It just raises your confidence level, right? And none of this is good or bad. It's just relative to doing business and commerce on the public side, right? So business savings account, put away at least 20%. I do 30%. It's called the 30% rule. My buddy Scotty taught me all about this. So 30% of all gross income that flows in gets saved. And that means after your write-offs and things like that, you'll probably have money left over. But here's why this is important. I know this looks like a mess here, but when you have income just flowing into your personal checking account, you might be getting taxed more at a higher rate and paying unnecessary taxes. But if you have proper payroll and all these things set up, of course you got to pay for that, right? But you're doing it the right way. And now you can sit down with a CPA and eventually get a BK, a bookkeeper. And once you get your finances meticulously organized, and you get P&L statements and spreadsheets, balance sheets, and you know where every penny is going in and out of your business, you understand what you can legally write off. There's an amazing book by Tom Wheelwright called Tax-Free Wealth. It's by Kiyosaki's advisors. And that doesn't mean you don't pay taxes. It's just the name of the book. But Tax-Free Wealth. Another book is called Lower Your Taxes, Big Time. You got to buy that one on paperback book. Another one is Mike Michalowicz, Profit First. He talks about setting up all these accounts. Like Mike Michalowicz, this is not Mike's information. But Mike says something really smart. You know, when you're growing your business, you should set up an account specifically for operating expenses as well, right? So all your money is super, super organized. But I just wanted to draw all this out because I know I have two businesses, and both of them have business checking accounts, They both have business savings accounts for taxes. They're completely separated. I have a bookkeeper that I get charged for both businesses. I have 2 QuickBooks accounts, and it's completely separate. And I'm on payroll, and I have a personal checking account, a joint checking account with my wife that we cover all the household expenses, and a savings account, and an emergency savings account, and an investment account, and an account specifically for charity and good deeds and things like that, right? And so in time, once you get all this stuff set up, you can have your money more organized. You know what I don't like about this? The way I crossed these two. That's the only confusing thing about this, is how I crossed those two. Those shouldn't be crossed. I'm commingling the numbers here, man. That's the end of this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, because I could literally turn this into a 3-hour video and go into depth about all this stuff. Let me know in the comments below. Peace!